in pink is sort of where we're wanting to make changes.
That's
That is
correct.
the intent. Okay.
Yes.
Good color choice.
I'm a fan. I appreciate it.
That was the last color of my hair.
Of course it was.
I did that. But I guess I'm just looking versus the page that you just had up, Neil. I'm just wondering, like, I just don't see the business process and the endpoint. Are there fields that we're taking away? Too?
Yes, we kind of modified
Fantastic.
it. We kind of like
Okay.
constructed our own form that will be more geared to software assets.
Yeah, but we need to be careful, Vaughan, because did you check in with Duke Kimbrough? Because he uses...
I did, and Duke, that's why I ended up going further. I'll get with you later on what I got from Duke.
Okay. But this form, we don't want to delete. I'm quite happy to hide the other bits on there then, Vaughan, if that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
So just look from what I see versus the current, like we are hiding the application type, architecture type, the provision type.
I'm kind of in the dark a little bit because Vaughan won't tell me what he's got from Duke.
I'm giving it to you now. He didn't have anything for me, to be honest with you.
So he and people that utilize that sheet are okay having those fields hidden.
Yeah, he was like, I don't know what you need from me. So I kept trucking on. Here you go.
Okay, and then this business process, is this the same as business unit but just renamed? Guess I just don't see business process on the original one, but it looks like search function. I do see business unit. Is that what we are?
You're on mute, Sean.
Well, it doesn't say you're on mute, but I can't hear you, so I don't know what's.
So I wouldn't.
I think he has to disconnect and come right back. So, if you see the fields that we have been working on over time, this is like our final. We have been going back and forth on it, and this is when Chris was with us. Chris made some changes, and we kind of, when he left, we basically took the form and went from there. And our last communication with Neil, we came up with the areas of orange that we want to add to and remove from. And we kind of just tidied up what we had, what was left, what we were left with. And this is pretty much where we wanted to go with the form. So I went to Duke to make sure that it knows any data integrity going on. He really didn't say he needed anything from me, or it's nothing he could do for us, really. He thought it was fine. I sent him the form as well. And so my next step was to go get the form created. That's when it would be going to Brian and I, but I ended up going to, I think, Joshua, and ended up putting the ticket in for the additional work to get done with the Jira work ticket. So that's why we're here with you.
Yeah, and I think this is definitely an admin work item from the sounds of it for the form creation. So I think it can be a quick win as long as we just specify exactly what changes we want to make from the current state to the future state, which really means just defining all of these fields, whether we want to hide them or we want to add them or we want to relabel them. I guess those are sort of what we need to determine.
And I think that a lot of the fields that were on the original form, it wouldn't be something that we needed here. We didn't want just extra stuff and have it too busy. We wanted a clean slate and just only the data that we needed, so it'd be a lot cleaner, and we just go from there.
Well, yes, but let's be cautious here, Vaughan, because that's our need, but a lot of other stakeholders that's why I thought Duke had input into this. So other stakeholders may be looking at this, and the reason We can hide fields for a start. I wouldn't delete any fields. So if we're going to hide application type, which is either a homegrown product or a COTS product, whatever that application type is, that might still be needed by other stakeholders that we're unaware of. So don't
Okay.
delete, because we might need to bring that in the future, because we
Gotcha.
might have to run audits on, is this software procured? Is it something we've built ourselves? We need to understand the type and the architecture type. So I'm okay hiding it for now, but I wouldn't delete it.
Gotcha.
Kaylee. So anything that you see, it's not building a new form either. It's literally using the existing form, hiding what you've screenshotted from me that's not on this form, and then adding these particular fields. So it should be straightforward. But yeah, I
That
wouldn't
makes sense.
delete anything.
Okay, we will hide and we will not delete. But I guess I just have questions if these are newly added fields, or is it just the ones that in pink that are being relabeled? It's just for business process. So what does that represent?
What was it, Sean? What did Chris come up with this business process one?
I would
Oh,
call
I
it
think you know
process,
what? I
but yeah,
think that's
native. Yes.
who would need the application. Who would be a user of this application?
Yes. I think it's something along that line.
So that's from the
Just say, for
business
instance,
unit relabeled sort of thing. Is that like, I guess, just like when we go to search, or what is an example of what would be entered
okay, let's say
into
if we
that
were
field?
using DocuSign, who would be using what's the business process for that? That'll be through legal. Of course, that would go through Retigate. Nobody else in the company is going to utilize that. That would be a drop down where you'll find legal. I think that's what Chris was aiming at on that one. I didn't know if we really
Take it
needed
out.
that.
I
I
don't
don't
need
think
it.
it. Well, we don't. I don't think we
Don't
do
need
either.
it.
Okay.
It's too ambiguous, Born. That's very niche. There's lots of software that we own in the organization that spans
Right.
multiple departments. That's not going to be achievable.
I agree.
Leave it.
I agree.
I'm just going to note that we can hide that one.
Okay.
Yeah, just don't even put it in. It's a new one.
And then the endpoint OS, that currently there? That is not currently there. That's a new one. And what
Just
types of values would we do?
exactly. Have you guys thought about the values for these fields to give to Kaylee?
We have not. Install type. Yeah, for types on install, it would be a local install or push through the company portal. It would just depend on how it needs to be need to be installed. As far as endpoint OS, what did we come up with that, Sean? Do you remember?
Windows, Mac.
Yeah. Okay. That's what it was. Web platform.
Yeah.
The manager budget holder approval, that's just like a yes, no value.
That's a yes, no. But if you drop down, so if it's a yes, if it's a Calendly, and you drop down to IS approval needed, on that yes, you're gonna have to go to Neil or Benham. We need their name to be in that drop down right there in the values.
Okay, one sec. I just want to, can you repeat that again?
Yes.
The manager budget approval is yes.
It's just a yes
This
or no.
one.
You can leave that
Yeah.
just yes or no, because a lot of applications we don't need a budget owner for approval. And when you get down to the approval needed as far as yes and no on IS, that's because we have to go to Benham or Neil on certain ones to be approved, and not management. The manager, even if the manager had a yes, we could possibly have a yes on the second one as well, because it don't just stop at the manager every time. And we could say no on the IS approval needed, because we don't need Benham or Neil to approve an Acrobat Pro. We just need management's approval on that.
Oh, and I should have asked this question right from the get-go. Who is using this form? Who is populating it?
Who will be using this form?
Yes.
Pretty much the
It
service
says that.
desk.
Okay, service desk.
But it'll be available for anyone to actually look at if they have access to it. Like Neil was just showing you to go to the business application. If you have access to the business application, I'm quite sure they'll be able to see this though.
Okay. So then, say this goes yes, we want to hover over with Neil or Michael. So just what do we mean by hover over? I guess, is there
just the
something that
values.
needs to be created for them? Or
Like
it's
the
just like
search, I guess.
we want no, yes, Neil, or like yes, Michael. we want those sort of values in the list, or what?
What do you think, Neil?
No, I think something simple, and it might change, but leave it as yes, no. Do a little Kaylee, you know, a little information button, and where you hover over it, it says go to Neil or Benham.
Okay.
Something like that. It doesn't need anything complicated.
Okay. And then the application status here, those are just the two fields, active and retired.
Yes.
And the total number of licenses, that is a new field.
Correct.
This should be the manual input field, right?
It's a free text integer field on both.
Okay, for the total number. And use
Again,
Same.
manual, so it doesn't tie into anything yet, like a SAM, because we don't have SAM, we can't afford SAM. So it's going to be static. It's going to give us the best we can until we can afford SAM.
Understood. I do have a question though. Is this going to require, or are we expecting to backfill the information for the business applications that we have on there now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And that's going to be a manual effort? It's
Yes.
going to have to be a manual effort.
Yeah.
Okay, so subscription renewal date is also a new field, but that's the date value. I see the date picker there. Application website.
That'll be a manual as well.
Free text field, manual. Then application description, I think that's fairly general. That's a free text field too.
Yeah, we have a lot of that.
That's sort of already there.
Yeah, it's already there. We're basically just bringing that over. Description.
Just adding application description.
Yes.
Okay, and then these I'm assuming are from all of the tabs along the bottom. Those are like the related tables. Yeah. Okay. So the contract. I don't have. Might need to get somebody to send me some snippets of our current one. I guess I have contract, which is just what Neil was on when I took my snippet, but I just what the current related list looks like down there for the owners, compliance, and process. Thank you, Neil. So it looks like for contract, we have a lot of these are new ones. So we have vendor and we have support vendor. The vendor contact email, is that going to be a lookup from like our vendor? We must have a table with our vendors in it.
Yeah, we have. Yep.
Okay. We look up support vendor. We already have support email would come from our support vendor, and our support contact number. Will that also
Neil,
come from our support vendor?
Neil, do we need support vendor and support email? Oh no, yes, we do. Okay, vendor can be Adobe. Okay, but our support vendor is going to be CDW.
Yeah.
We get our Adobe products from CDW, so our support email though will be adobe.com/support. So that we do need them. We do need it.
I would potentially change the language then to match other things, perhaps with our assets. I think with our assets we have manufacturer and we have vendor. I'll need to check that. But there's the manufacturer of the product or the software, and then there's the vendor. So the vendor and support vendor, the language doesn't work for me, because if the vendor, in your case, Vaughan, is Adobe and the support vendor is CDW, they're two different vendors, so it doesn't sit.
Supplier?
Whether you change them round, whether it's the supplier becomes CDW or the vendor is CDW and the manufacturer is just the vendor in this case. But I don't like the word manufacturer, because manufacturing to me is hardware.
Yeah. Sean, what do we have on a ticket if we have to put a ticket on hold and says with the vendor? What does it pop down as? Oh no, let me look at the ticket.
Awaiting vendor. Awaiting vendor.
Huh?
Awaiting vendor.
Awaiting vendor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not right, is it? Because if we're waiting for support from Adobe and the vendor's CDW,
Yeah, like
we
yeah,
need
that
to
would
get
be
the language
Dale.
right.
Yeah, because that'll be Dale. We wait on Dale to finish our support. Okay.
We do have tables in there, Kaylee, actually, that we already use that I'm aware of for manufacturer and vendor. Likelihood is that they might be the same because, we could buy Adobe licenses directly from Adobe. We might buy them through CDW, etc. So I think for all intents and purposes for this, let's leverage the hardware stuff and leave it as manufacturer and vendor. And we should be able to pull on those existing lists.
But just to clarify, though, this vendor contact email is related to we'll label that to manufacturer, and then support vendor as the vendor, and the support email and contact number relate to that vendor.
Yes.
Okay. But we want to add a hyperlink to the contract that routes to the contract page.
That's correct.
Yeah, I think for now there is a separate contracts area where I want to start populating contracts, but this will be a quick view within the actual application where you can spin off to the contract, where there should be like the actual PDF of the contract, the start date, the end date, the cost, all of that kind of stuff. And actually that in there, that's where I'm thinking the vendor and manufacturer come from, contracts as well. It doesn't have to be synced across. We can get clever with it later on, but as long as we have a link into it for now, I think that should be straightforward.
And the owners, so we do have budget owner here. Is this changing the business owner to budget owner? I guess just business owner is what is currently on the form. Is that just a relabel, rename?
Yeah, I think because when we speak on going to get approvals, we go to the budget owner. So that's the terminology. That's the language that we use on the service desk side. When we're looking to get approvals, financial approvals, we go into the budget owner.
And we don't have application administrators in there right now.
Right, we
want
don't
to
have the
add
SMEs.
some.
Yes, we do, because we have SMEs are going to be different from application administrators. I administer Calendly, but I am not in depth enough to walk you through a repair in Calendly. So that'll be a SME, or maybe someone like Jake Chastain, someone who uses on the daily. So we do need SMEs, and we also need application administrators.
And just in terms of numbering, I just know that there's like SME 1, SME 2. Should it be like application administrator 1, application administrator 2?
Yeah, that'll be good.
Okay.
You okay with that, Neil?
Yeah.
And we have, I know on the current form, it has email for the SME. Do we not want that to be in the new one? It's just their contact information sufficient, like just their name and not necessarily their email.
We can find that.
Yeah.
Okay. I see, okay, there was application administrator in there. This is application approver. That looks new. That is new. What does that mean?
Like, we'll go back to DocuSign. DocuSign's going to be Loretta Gate. Or...
So that's back to the business owner? Or the business process or something that we had talked about up here?
Similar, but...
Just what would that be referencing from like a table looked at perspective?
I'm trying to explain it to you. For instance, Microsoft license. The application approval for that is going to be Neil. We got to go to Neil for that. We need Visio. Or if we need anything from Microsoft, that will be Neil. Or if we need anything from Calendly, it's going to be Benham. It won't be manager. I don't know how should we rephrase that, Sean, to make it work, or should we just not have it there? But we need it there. If you think about it, we need it there for the analysts. If they're looking at this when they get a ticket in, they need to know where to go on this. So, application approver, should it be reworded or removed?
Just leave it as it is. We know what it is. We can always change the name of it, Kaylee, going forward. But the team know what it is for now. I'm okay with it.
Okay, but what is this looking up? What table is that referencing?
That should look up the employee list where company equals beyond trust. So just the user list.
So we'll just know, like intuitively, who the approver is for said application. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Compliance, there's a couple more sections, and I think that we can get it in there. So compliance, really, we just have business criticality, which is their emergency tier, data classification. We just want to remove the certified checkbox.
Where's that?
Process.
No, no, we can leave that in. I don't think we need to remove it.
So
It's not something that we use.
Compliance will stay as is.
Yep.
And process. So we don't have a process related list right now. So this will be a net new. Is that true, or am I making it up? I'm not seeing it in the current related lists. So going with it's true.
Yeah, it's I think this is a new one. I think this is new that Chris added, and he put this down there because I think he it's more for the analysts, the process of getting this application. Okay, so what is it Okta integrated? Is it something that is auto provisioned? And this just help the analysts as they're working through the ticket. If they have to go and look this up, application that they're not normally assigning out. So we do need to know if it's already Okta integrated. We do need to know what's the security group that they'll utilize to give this application to someone. And then the steps will pretty much be right here on what they need to do. On Ring Central, you'll create the account before you assign the Okta group. I'm sorry, before you assign the AD security group. And vice versa for Adobe. You'll make sure you get approval. You'll make sure you assign the security group. So this right here is pretty much a guide, a step-by-step, a quick step-by-step for our analysts.
Okay. Fantastic. Is there anything else that came to mind to discuss with regards to the new software asset form? I think I have the information that I need. I just need to go back and document it in terms of what we want to hide, what we want to add, and what these are referencing. We'll probably set up another touch point next week just to review the sort of final requirements before we put it forward for the admins to pick up.
Okay. Just a quick question for you. Was this too much? Was this too confusing, or was it laid out in a way that you can understand?
It was just me understanding what is currently there and transitioning to this future state so I can sort of do a gap analysis, but just where I don't have the access to get there, that's totally fine. So now that I have the current state and I know that this is what we want, it's very, very clear now.
Okay.
But yeah, current state information is very helpful, and then just identifying what we want to change in terms of naming and referencing. I guess it's the details that are important.
Right.
So that we can ensure that we can get the give you guys the solution that you want.
Okay. And with your workload, what do you anticipate on the ETA?
ETA, great question. I'm not sure. Going to have to probably talk with Michael just to see when the admins are, what their bandwidth is. But they seem, anytime that I go to the admins, they're more than willing to pick things up, like fairly soon. But I can check with Cody and Josh just to see what their estimate of work is once I get the requirements documented. And next time we meet, I can give you a better ETA, because right now it's sort of TBD.
Okay.
Okay. You mean Conjuster? When you say Mark?
Yes. Yeah. Until Brian comes back. But
well, you could. Okay, fine. I mean, that works either way. But the admins work under kind of my org, not the devs. So
Oh, yes.
Should be
Yes.
all right.
Yes.
So
Seriously.
I could just
Yeah.
pull rank, Kaylee, if I needed
Yes,
to.
you can.
I would
Yes,
never do
yeah.
that. But
Yeah. But we will chat once I have the requirements documented to see if we can get an admin on it. But I don't anticipate it being a large amount of work. Like it shouldn't take weeks and weeks. It might take a couple days. I would
a couple of days.
at
Yeah.
at the max. Sounds reasonable to me. But
Okay, just FYI, it can't take long. We got to have this by the end of the month. We have a time
End of
crunch.
June.
Yes, the end of our
June.
second
Okay.
quarter. We have a time crunch. It has to be live before we go into
Gotcha.
the third quarter.
Well, this is great information to know, so thank you for providing that. I should have asked when this is needed by from the get-go. So now I know. So we will do what we can. So I will move this along into the right hand so that we can make sure that we can deliver this in time.
Okay.
Thanks, Kaylee. Can you guys stay on for a minute? Kaylee,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers.
All right.
Bye. They both.
Hey, boss.
Can I give you some feedback?
Yes, sir.
Sure. So I think when you're presenting something like that to a BA or anybody, you have to get out of that box, because what you're doing there, you know what's going on. You kind of, and to some degree, in some areas, you didn't know because Chris had done some stuff. So I don't think you were as prepared as you could have been. But then when Kaylee's asking what's in the drop-down boxes, you should know whether we've had that chat beforehand or not, because when you're trying to articulate that to a BA, this is where the communication comes in. It's really important you've got somebody who's like technical, like you know what's going on, you know what you want. You have to give that to somebody in layman's terms who then converts that either to dev or admin work. And that's really important for parity when you have the structure of what it was, what it is, clear definitions, drop downs, exactly what's going on, and say, well, this is current state, this is future state. So it's only a bit of feedback, because I know you're going to kind of learn how to communicate on that basis, but that, as you kind of work your way up through the organization, is essential when you're communicating outside of your own realm. I'm happy to help, but I kind of let you take the lead a little bit that, and there was a little bit of sort of stutter, weren't sure, hey Sean, was that going on? And that's also no criticism, it's merely feedback to try and better you.
Yeah. Okay.
Fair comment?
Yo, no, that's good. Good. I do wish that we had got more, unfortunately, from Chris, so that we would be. He asked our opinions, we gave him, and he went to you, and so at the end we were like clueless. All we knew that we had a deadline, and we were just trying to do it the best, more efficient way as possible. And me and Sean wanted to make sure that we were on the same wavelengths and we knew what we were doing. So, yeah, I didn't even expect this meeting to take place. I was pushing while you were gone to try to get them to do their side, and I put a few tickets, and it ended up right here. So I was like, okay.
It will, because that team now are working off Jira boards with the planning and timelines and capacity, which is how it should be. But to get it on the board, it has to be clear. And that's why we've gone down that road. And I think for anything future where we need that, we can chat before, you can come direct to me, we can thrash it out, and then we can have what that looks like to put forward to a BA. But what they're doing is right and is needed. So I appreciate that's probably new to you. It's new to all of us that they're moving to that model, but it is right.
Yeah.
Let's stay close to it.
Okay.
But otherwise, fine. I got no problem with it. Thank you. I just wanted to kind of help you.
All right. We do have a question though.
Okay.
You see what we're working with. We're working with a lot of people, a lot of hands. So our time crunch is becoming vital. The date was set for the end of the second quarter. At some point, do you foresee this not happening? What does that reflect on as far as Sean and I go?
Them reflected at all. I think, given current movements within the team, what's going on, priorities change. I'm okay with priorities changing. If we get this in and live within the next week from the ServiceNow admin team. That takes us to the middle of June. I just think if we start populating things, we're not going to get it all populated. I appreciate that because we pushed it back. So it doesn't mean anything. I think when it's in, then we'll have a chat, decide what's realistic, and revise the date, and that's how it works.
Okay.
So
I just want to make sure, you know that we were still pushing and doing as much as we could on our end. And unfortunately,
yeah, it's about to and fro
and
kind of. Yep, and I appreciate that. So now we'll just kind of push our objective or our kind of initiative here was self-driven. So I can change that date without much consequence because it's me that wants this. So if I say, well, let's do it by the end of July, that's okay because it's ours. And something else takes priority, great. If it doesn't, then we can crack on and populate this. Might need some tweaks and changes because one size might not fit all. So
right.
I'm okay with that. I think if we realistically in our own minds think that the revised date of this to have it all done will be the end of July, takes the pressure off, gives us time. But we need to get the form in and right first, and that might take a week or two. So
gotcha.
It's fine.
Okay. All right.
All good?
All right, sir.
Cool. Right. Stay in touch. We'll get this one over the line and we'll get it populated.
All right. How long are you on today, boss? How long are you online today? Are you real tied up today?
I'm tied up for the last 2 hours of my day through till 5:30, and then I'll be switching off.
Oh, okay.
I need to go out tonight.
Yeah.
Do you need me?
I just want to chat. A little bit, just real quick, if we could. I just want to chat about what's going on as far as our organization structure. I guess. Hell, Sean. Him too. We're just curious. We were both just. I wanted to have a conversation with you to find out where we were at, what we were doing, how was things going to evolve right now with what we got going on, and to let you know we both. I don't think Chris really relayed to you as far as what we've been doing, and I have a list prepared to provide for you. But we're ready to make the next move, and just wanted to make sure you knew that in this process of change, wanted you to know that we were ready to step up and take on the full load of responsibility that comes with the next position in line.
Talk to me now then. What does that look like for you?
Looks like me being North America lead / going into management, facilitate the Atlanta headquarters along with working with all of the our analysts in North America, and Sean pick up all the others. Us bringing another admin in so that we can more focus on managing people directly, managing them, and not being stressed out with one. I think it's sort of difficult for Alva to manage the North America team with the time difference. So that will give her a lot of relief. We've already pushed out the respect. We have it. We've been managing them locally. I have when I'm in front of them and virtually. So we're prepared to move forward and Alva move up and us take over what she was doing.
Okay. Sean? I forgot. We can't hear.
Can't hear you, Sean.
I'm trying.
Oh, we can hear you now.
You guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm using the laptop's microphone, so I don't know how good it will be, but
It's okay.
it's just want to make sure that myself and Vaughn, we are helping out Alva as much as we can. Of course, we want the team to grow as well. So our plan is more of leads and manager will be doing more of the operational stuff, whereas admins will be doing more of the technical stuff. So whether the admins will want to go up down the road in their career perspective, it's really up to their individual choice if they want to go pursue their career in the future. But for me, myself, I'm actually looking after the UK team right now as well, helping out Alba. Any technical questions, they will come over to me. Also with the Canadian team, because that's the one that I'll probably reach out to most of the time. Sometimes I do get Atlanta, people like Brandon who ends late, and sometimes even Jordy who ends late. So it's really a crisscross between myself and Vaughn, but we always work close hand in hand together. We always update each other of our base plans and what's next for us.
Okay, so where do I start without giving too much away at the minute? That's an option, and that's one of my put forward options anyway. So I'm not going to commit just yet because there's a lot of things I need to iron out, but I am looking for you to move up, and I'm looking for you to support Alva and Alva moving up. So that's very much on my radar. Now, what the top of that structure looks like, I'm just kind of ironing out, and then obviously what the bottom of that structure looks like with additional analysts or technicians. But we're looking at the split that you've said about North America and Europe and APJ to roll up to you guys as leads with man management. We kind of put you on some kind of management course like the FLI course, and we go through that and we kind of harness your skills again, because I know you've both managed before. I don't have an issue with that. I need to put my pitch together to sell to Benham and Yoast, which I feel pretty confident doing, to be honest, because I have mapped out what that future state looks like. I did a little bit of work while I was away and thought about certain things. So I think we're on the same page, but I can't commit to it now, right? I need to kind of push that forward higher up. But I think the way that you operate as a team is commendable. I think what we also need to do is get the service desk back to providing, a good service where we're visible. And what I mean by that, Vaughan, is that perception is key. Mm-hmm. Okay, now I've had some feedback recently that I was going to give to you about Atlanta that needs to change. So the guys there need to be visible. The IT door cannot be shut. So either open or move them outside. If you're going to take that lead role and man management, I already look at you as kind of being over those guys anyway. It's me, Tiffany, and Brandon. You need to make sure that you're visible as much as they're visible, because it's our HQ. We've got Janine walking around, Brent walking around. We have visitors in from all over the globe. Manchester's wide open. So we need to know that the support desk there are visible, ready to help, not lackluster, closed away. That's perception. Gotcha. That has to change. Things like this that drive it will help the perception. Not that there's any wrong perception of any of you guys anyway, but I'm saying perception is key. It's really important that we're driving things forward. We've got the team, but we have that nice balance of making sure that we're firm but fair.
Right.
And that's the approach that I would like. We take a hard line, we work hard, we play hard. I have absolute respect for all my team, but I'm also very firm and can be very firm. So you'll be dealing with Alva, you might be dealing with me a little bit more, and there'll be clear directives coming down. So I need things like we've just been through there need polishing. That's not going to be a stop for you. I'm not going to not do anything based on what we've just done. But it's my job and Alva's job and the business's job to kind of harness what we have and make you better. And that means being open to feedback, working as a team, bi-directional feedback. You give that to me. I'm happy to do that. You can't let me down. You can't let Alva down. And we have to move forward as a unit. And to be honest, I think although Chris has gone, you guys felt it probably just as much as me, if not more than me, because I spoke to him daily anyway. The crux of the team was the fact that we had a team anyway. So Chris leaving, not great, but you guys can carry that mantle forward. So I'm happy to do that. I want you enthused. I want you excited. I want you hungry. I want you thinking strategically. I want you thinking about prioritizations. I want just clarity on how we can do this. And I think collectively with my drive and Alva's drive and everything else, we can certainly... we can do this. So can't commit to that because that's not what I've put forward yet, but that's my plan, and it sounds like we're on the same page.
Okay.
Thoughts?
Sounds good. I'll take it. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I know that Sean has probably done the same. I know that Chris told me that I need to come prepared and be ready to present what I'm looking for. So I've drawn it up and I'm going to send it to you, who I think I am and where I should be. Respectfully.
I will look at that objectively. We will talk that through. I'm obviously blind to it at the minute, but let me read it. And let's go through it. So put something in my diary for next week, and I'll quite happily have half an hour with you to chew the fat. Sean, if you want to do the same, I'm okay with that. I want to make sure that we're promoting within. If you guys are hungry for it and capable of doing this, and we can always train certain skills. So I'm happy. I think it's more important that we have the right attitude and the right aptitude within an individual or the team. But that goes through across the team. So anyone as a technician or an analyst reporting into you is reflective of you. Anyone on my team is reflective of me. It's very important.
Yep. I agree.
I know you can do it. I know you can do it. I trust you. But like I say, I just need to kind of put that forward. I'm confident in putting that forward. We can do it.
Yeah. We'll rock it out. We'll show you we'll rock it out.
Okay.
Anyway, Neil, I'll be out from next Tuesday, UK time, to 22nd. I'll be back.
Okay.
So, yep, it'll be a period of 9 days. Nick Tembu is aware. I spoke to Dave and Chris Joy not to do anything to the infrastructure, so we have a safe and sound office. Hopefully nothing goes wrong in between. So, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, because we've got no one else there at the minute. We'll have to use someone in support. Who would be the support guy, though? So we would need a man or woman on the ground. We
Nick.
used to use...
Nobody but Nick.
I think will be UV. UV is the director that I think you met him before during the town hall. So he will be probably the best person next one to be, helping out with anything that's needed. Because in the past, before he came on board, the previous technical support manager was the one managing the Singapore office.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. I'm okay with that. Are you going away on holiday?
Yeah, I'll be traveling.
Where are you off?
South Korea.
Nice. Okay. Family?
Yeah, with family.
Good.
The whole family.
Have a great time. Come back.
Come back fresh.
Oh,
Yeah,
Neil, while
hopefully.
we got you real quick, you see that message I sent you yesterday about MSDN, Visual Studio?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
I'm
God.
going to speak to Corey later on today about what happens with that, and I know there's probably a couple of instances going on, so
There's
I might.
a lot going
I'm going to
on
have a
with
chat
that.
with Corey, and then we can catch up next week, Paul.
When I tell you they're talking a different language than we are, they have no clue what we're doing. They don't even know we have enterprise and professional. They're talking stakeholders and everything. She's like, oh my God, Vaughn, I don't know what. I have to go back to the drawing board and figure this out. I don't even know what we want you to do now. So that's on standby. So me and Sean, we were ready to tackle that, but that's on standby for now.
Okay.
But I have taken about 100 license from Pluralsight already, so we're looking really good on that.
Okay. Yeah, I know that needs fixing up. I spoke with Alva earlier, and I saw the message.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff that we need to tidy up, though. I've got Shash working on the endpoints with all the parity across the devices and your CrowdStrikes and all the applications there. We then need to tie up the software piece, which is why we need this form to manage the software and the stuff, the sync that we've got from Intune into ServiceNow. We don't have SAM at the minute, so I really want to get SAM in the budget for next year. That will help us a lot more. So it's going to have to be manual at the minute. But
Sounds good.
Yep.
yeah.
All right.
It will work out.
Right. If I don't speak to you, Sean, have a great holiday. Put something in my
Thank you.
diary. If you want to catch up Monday, it's up to you. I don't know whether I know you said Tuesday you were out, Vaughan. Up to you. You just look for a space and put it in.
Gotcha. Sounds good.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you both.
All right. Talk to you guys later. Take care.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a
Bye.
great weekend.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for
Thank
the
you.
thanks for the
Bye.
input,
Bye.
Neil. Thanks for the input. Feedback.
No worries, pal. No worries.
All right. Thank
See you later.
All right. Bye.
See ya. Bye.